MotherLode is the largest sluice in the Grizzly Gold Trap lineup. The sluice measures 13 1/2 inches wide at the top of the transport deck and 9 1/2 inches wide at the capture chamber. Its overall length is just under 36 inches. When setting up a stream sluice, it is important to identify a setup location with adequate flow levels. We'll be setting up the MotherLode in about 8 to 10 inches of water, about 6 feet off the stream bank we're now viewing. I would consider this average flow conditions. To prepare for setting up the sluice, I have lined up a few larger rocks to be positioned along both sides of the sluice to hold the MotherLode in place. Since the Grizzly Gold Trap sluices only need about 5 to 6 inches of water to run, I'm placing a large flat rock under the upper end of the transport deck to set its depth. This rock also prevents water from flowing under the sluice, which helps reduce water pressure, lifting the sluice upwards. Having positioned rocks underneath to roughly set the depth, I can now place the sluice between the row of rocks on the sides, sliding the rocks against the sides of the MotherLode, and adding other rocks to hold the sluice in place. If the sluice is rising up, you can set the edge of a few rocks just over the top of the sluice's sidewall to help hold it down. Do not set rocks across the top of the sluice to hold it in place, as this will restrict 2 to 4 inch rocks from moving down the transport deck as you feed unclassified material. Typically, I'll set up the sluice so that the water level is approximately 1/2 to 1/4 inch from the top of the sidewall.
All right, we've got a good setup here. We're running at about 7 to 8 degrees. And let's start seeing what material looks like going through it.
Looking at the top-down view, you can see a V in the water that extends about 3/4 of the distance down the transport deck. A distinct V of this length down the deck is a good indicator of adequate flow to process unclassified material. Proper feed rate of unclassified material into any type of sluice is critical to capture a high percentage of gold. With the MotherLode's wider transport deck, unclassified material shaken onto the transport deck has more area to spread out and stratify as it travels down the deck and through the grizzlies into the capture chamber. The proper feed rate also helps prevent material from piling up on the grizzlies. Some rocks, especially flat ones, may hang up on the grizzlies, but you can simply push them off with your hand or the tip of the shovel. If small gravel gets caught between the grizzly bars, simply push them with your fingers down towards the sample riffles to clear them. Notice the 1 to 4 inch rocks in this shovelful easily clearing the grizzlies. The sampling riffles are designed to temporarily trap gold long enough for you to identify if material has gold in it. At any time, you can clear the riffles by waving your fingers through the water above the riffles. You can then shovel more material onto the deck and see if you're still on the pay streak. Clean out of the Grizzly Gold Trap sluices is fast and easy. Simply clear away a few of the rocks on the sides. Place your hands under both sides of the sluice and lift upwards while keeping it somewhat level. Raise the sluice out of the water, slightly tilting it downward to empty the water out of the lower chamber. Place the capture chamber end into a 5-gallon bucket filled with water and plunge the chamber up and down a few times, keeping it tilted slightly towards you to allow material to empty out. Also remember to splash water onto the riffles to wash out gold and black sands held there. Place the gold trap back into the river, resetting levels, and continue processing more material. The amount of material emptied from the MotherLode's capture chamber is typically about 5 to 6.5 cups. This image shows the amount of black sands captured after running about 15 shovelfuls of material. The location of the setup video was selected for its ease of videotaping. However, in those few shovelfuls of material, we still found a decent amount of color in our cleanout. So good luck prospecting and heavy pans.